Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Film Nerds Hour with your hosts, Noah Sweeto.
Well, come on, man. I'm eating a life forever. Oh, Nathaniel Shoemaker.
And today we're going to be reviewing Trick or Treat, which is a
Trick or treat.
Trick or Treat, but it is pronounced Trick or Treat.
Trick or treat. Not trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Yeah,
You
so-
just say it fast. Trick or treat.
Yeah, which if for those of you that type it in, just remember to put the
There's a
hyphen
Yeah.
on both
Hyphen.
hyphen or hyphen.
Yeah, hyphen. I'm waving to someone named Finn. Hi.
We have a person on our team named Finn.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking for a second of either Finn Wolfhard if he's a fan of the show. We'd love to have you on. He doesn't listen to this shit. Or if it's Finn from Adventure Time.
Adventure Time!
Exactly.
Which I never got into. But I'm starting to slowly, because I heard the later seasons picked up.
It's really lovely.
John D'Amico plays, what's the name of the dog?
Jake.
Jake, I was about to say.
Jake the dog and Finn
John
the
D'Amico's
human,
what rolled me into that one.
one.
Alright, but Trick or Treat. 2007. Oh, yeah, it is 2007. Huh.
Freaking old.
I thought it was 2010. Jeez.
No.
Nope, December 9th, 2010. That's an odd date to release.
Yeah, you would
that
think
movie.
he would release it, I don't know, October 31st
Since, considering, literally this movie
is
is
Halloween night.
on Halloween night. It was directed by Michael Daughtry, and it's produced by Bryan Singer.
Which that's a thing I got to question, because there's some characters in here who they put on like Halloween costumes, and we get a scene of them buying the costumes, and they're in the costume shop. Number one, the costumes you're getting day of Halloween definitely don't look that freaking good. Like if you're buying your costume day of Halloween, you are getting the secondhand, you are getting the crappy, you are getting like Dracula's cape without the suit and like one of Frankenstein's bolts. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're not getting stuff that high quality. Also, what Halloween store is open night of Halloween?
Well, there was one. I think we had one in Illinois. JJ Blinkers, I believe that was open Halloween night.
Yeah, there's a weird plot point in, I can't remember what movie it is, but there's a weird plot point in one movie where the store is having their Halloween one day only sale and it's on Halloween, and it's like, no, you do it like a month before because people buy their costumes earlier. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, it does look tacky if you put them out too early.
yeah, but it's I'm questioning why they're A, open on Halloween, and B, how there's that good of costumes left still.
Small town.
I guess. Is it a small town? It looks like a...
It looks like a decently sized. I mean, if you think of Rochester's big, but not that big.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Twin Cities is big, but that's more of a city than Rochester is.
Exactly.
But I think it'd be like it looked like a Rochester-sized town.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
But this episode's going to be a little different because it's a series of short stories or vignettes
and anthology.
Yeah, it's an anthology, and it's not like
Different parts of the year.
it's not like Tales from the Hood where they do focus on one story and then go to another. They're all happening at the same time, more or less.
Yeah. Or another movie that you might know too is Body Bags with John Carpenter. It's got a very different vibe.
Yeah.
To it, but
So yeah, we're gonna try our best to recap this. It's just it's very it's not hard to follow. It's hard to explain after the fact.
yeah, so we're gonna kind of break it down for you, kind of the same
Like story
way
by story.
as Cabin in the Woods. If you guys listened to that previous episode, we kind of broke that down, talked a little bit about it. We kind of went a little bit beat for that, but that was also kind of a movie that you had to kind of watch to really
Yeah, we didn't even
embrace
talk. We didn't even touch on any of the
major plot points of that movie.
major plot points. We also didn't touch on like any of the Office stuff because that's all comedy you actually need to watch.
Yeah, so we're kind of going to do the same for this, except it is less comedic. It's got a very serious tone. I really want to take a moment, though, to really praise what Trick or Treat is.
Yeah.
It is one of those movies that I did not have an interest in. I thought it looked kind of dumb, but from the trailer, I thought it looked kind of cool. I thought it was just, because, I was never really an anthology person.
Yeah.
But when I rewatched the trailer a couple of times, I'm like, because that's the thing with the anthologies. Mm-hmm. The thing that really turns me off of a lot of anthologies until I got to watch them more is because, with a movie... I feel like you could make a mini series in that same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to stretch them out. Like with Goosebumps, each episode in each season is dedicated to that.
Yeah.
Or they have a couple of episodes.
I like those shows. I like those where it's not one overarching story that you got to watch all the episodes in order. I like ones where it's sort of like, I'll just pick this one and it's fine.
Which is the good thing about Goosebumps, because Goosebumps you could read the books out of order. It's kind of like that. Same thing with Creepshow. The Creepshow TV series now is also really, really good. Highly recommend it. If you guys are a fan of Saw, Tobin Bell is also in one of those episodes.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know the Creepshow was a thing.
Yeah, it's on AMC. I'd like to buy it sometime. I should have bought it when it was out, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Cobra Kai now, and it's going to be impossible to find. But
yeah,
that's a story for another time.
It happens.
But Trick or Treat is definitely one of those cool anthology films, but I know if you're kind of like me, because it always depends on the anthology, sometimes they're kind of slow, because, you know, movies are one of those things that you kind of like to just have one narrative because you're thinking about three things. Mm-hmm. But Trick or Treat does it very well. Same with Body Bags. I was a little bit skeptical about that, but pretty excited, and Body Bags turned out to be really good. So if you guys have seen John Carpenter's Body Bags, this is kind of like that, except 4 stories.
Yeah, reminds
and
me
then
of
the overall narrative.
ABC's of Death, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
VHS.
Yeah, VHS is another good one too. Is my favorite. Which we might cover those in one episode talk.
Another time, yeah.
Yeah, because those are really cool and spawned a spin-off. But Trick or Treat is well, it's interesting because it started as something that Michael did as a short initially called Season's Greetings. I don't know if you knew that.
Never seen it, never heard of it until just now.
Yeah, 1996. I'll try and remember to put a link for you guys. Otherwise, it's just called Season's Greetings, 1996. You can look it up, and it's a completely animated short that shows Sam, and it's a very well done one.
Sam is my favorite part of this movie, hands down.
Yeah, and Sam is very, he's so mysterious.
Yeah, he is Sam.
He is a very underestimated character.
Sam, I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's very underrated.
He looks like a kid.
He looks like a kid, but we'll get to what we'll at least.
We never get a good explanation of what exactly he is. I'm pretty sure he's like the spirit of Halloween.
That is what he's supposed to be. It is supposed to be that he is the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
Which, if you look up to all these shorts,
he's in them. He's in the whole movie.
And that explains kind of what he is. So, another cool thing that we get to is we get, in this movie, another great thing that we get is some great actors. So, we got Brian Cox, which I first saw him in X2, X-Men Origins. Not X-Men Origins, X2, X-Men United. Yeah, as William Stryker. And I loved him as that. Character. We get Quinn Lord, which I think he's done. He plays Sam, but I feel like he's been in something else that I saw him in, or maybe it's just because The Possession, that Sam Raimi movie we saw the trailer for.
Let me see his face.
That's Quinn Lord.
Okay, so he played because he's masked the whole time.
Yeah, but he's also in like the Buddies movies with the dogs.
Oh, the Air Bud or the Buddies. So that Air Bud is the grown-up dog. Buddies are the puppies that talk, and it's
Yeah, and We All Scream for Ice Cream, which apparently was another horror film that came out in 2007, and he was in White Noise too, The Light. The first one starred Michael Keaton.
That movie got a sequel?
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
I would assume, because I just now heard of it.
It was interesting.
Okay. It was different.
And he also played the Peeping Tomboy in the beginning.
Oh, that is the same kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the kid who's looking at the girls changing. And, okay, I want to say that scene is just bizarre because the kid's looking, like, at the girls changing in the room. But the reaction from the mom is the opposite reaction that I feel like any human would have. Because, like, she gets mad at the girls who are changing, But it's like, you're in a locked changing room. It's not your fault. It's not their fault. Your son's a pervert.
You
Like,
gotta remember, though, sheltered parents.
oh, God. Bane of my existence in high school, let me tell you. I'm serious, yeah.
And then we get Anna Paquin. Is that how you say her name?
Is that,
Who played Rogue in the X-Men movies?
yeah, some people might also know of her as,
Laurie...
Sookie Stackhouse from the True Blood show.
Oh, I was gonna say True Blood, which I'm starting to get into.
Yeah? You like it?
Yeah, I found the novel today while I was at Half Price Books.
My mom used to be really into that show, but then, like with most shows she watches, it became too much.
Yeah. But she plays Laurie in this. And then another cool face that we do get from another Marvel movie is Dylan Baker, who plays Steven. And he's kind of plays the creepy dad in this. For those of you who do not know...
Marvel movie? What is...
Dylan... I was going to say that. For those of you who don't know who Dylan Baker played in the Marvel Universe, he was in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy as Dr. Connors.
Oh, that's right, because he doesn't actually end up turning into the Lizard. He's just kind of there.
Yes, which they were going to do, but for obvious reasons. I think it was going to be in 5 or 6 that they were finally going to get.
Before they were going to... They had... who was it lined up to play the Vulture? It was the guy who ended up playing the quote-unquote Mandarin in the third one.
Ben Kingsley?
Yeah, he was going to be... He was all signed up and ready to go to be the Vulture in the fourth one.
One of the people that we also get to is Leslie Bibb, which I'm sure, I don't know if a lot of people have heard of her name or can think of her face. She was in the Babysitter 2, The Killer Queen. She was in Movie 43, which is another cool comedy with Hugh Jackman.
You liked Movie 43?
Is that the one with Hugh Jackman, right?
Where he's got the ball face?
Yeah.
You liked that movie?
I thought it was so stupid because it was meant to be stupid, so yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, under that guise, I could see it, but I was not. No.
I was not impressed with it as a movie. I was impressed that they really just wanted to do something stupid.
Under the guise that it was supposed to be stupid, I could see that, but I didn't get that impression. I thought they were just trying to do honest comedy, and it just didn't work for me. I don't think I chuckled at all in that movie.
No, I believe that movie was purely made to be something incredibly stupid and to prove a point.
But well, it's a thing. It's also jarring because there's so many name actors. Hugh Jackman is in the movie, and like all of these named actors are in it, and it's just bizarre.
Mm-hmm. And there was a reason.
But does she play our first victim?
I think so. For those of you,
oh yeah, she's the mom in the Babysitter movies. That's right.
As I was saying, too, she was in Zookeeper, Iron Man 1 and 2, the Midnight Meat Train, the Babysitter, as we said, and which I haven't seen those yet. I got to see those. And she was in Tag, just to give you guys kind of an idea of what she was in.
I love the movie Tag. She was a bitch.
I haven't seen that one either.
Sorry for the language, but I really don't like her character in that movie. You'll see. You'll watch it. It's funny.
I believe Britt McClip. Why does that sound like a familiar name, too?
Britt McClip? That sounds like a football player.
Well, she looks like...
Oh, it's a girl. Okay. Why did I say it like that? Oh, it's a girl.
She looks like she's played one of the girls in Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
The way she's got the glasses and the ponytails. But I guess not.
Let me see.
She's not.
Oh, but let me see the woman or the girl or whatever. I don't frickin'.
Hang on.
You have way too many tabs. Her. God, what is she? Who does she play in this movie?
There's a go back. But she kind of looks like that ghost girl.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Oh, Moni Myrtle?
Yeah, Myrtle. And she played Macy in this.
Is that one of the friends? Or is that the sister? The older sister?
No, she would have been young in this one, I believe.
Oh, was she... Oh, she was the witch. She was dressed as the witch, maybe?
She was the girl who went with the friends to the bus.
Yeah, was she dressed as a witch, or what was her costume?
I think so.
Or was she the girl with the headgear as the alien?
She was the one who they made fun of.
Yeah, so that's the witch girl. Yeah. Who I really liked her.
Yeah, she was a nice character.
That's like 1000%, because she, like, in that bit, she's talking about, like, the history of Halloween, the multiple names it has, like, human sacrifice behind it. That is 100% my kid. Like, not even
she
joking.
really, one of the things too is that she really made, her character really believes strongly in the spirit of Halloween. Macy really believes strongly in the spirit of Halloween, and that you can make or break depending on what you do.
Well, because she says, like, there's a point in that short that story, where there's, like, jack-o'-lanterns, and she tells someone to stay by them because the light will keep them safe.
Oh no, she played the she played the bitchy angel girl.
Oh, okay, so I hate her then.
Yeah.
That would not be my kid at all.
But she looks like the girl with those glasses from that one photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she that character's got the big thick glasses, like the huge bifocals.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who the other girl must have been then, but we'll figure it out.
We'll learn.
There's a lot of names to follow in this movie because again, it is an anthology, so it does get a bit confusing.
And all the characters show up in every other thing. Like the couple from the beginning of the movie, which only has like a few seconds of screen time. How many frickin' times did those two show up? Like,
yeah, which to give you kind of a reference of everything that goes on in this movie, and don't let this affect your viewing.
No.
Please do not, because I know what a lot of people are going to say. As soon as you hear all the chaos, you're going to be like, oh, well, this made me not a good movie. No, they handled it very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
They handled it incredibly well. I'm not going to compare it to the other movies just because of people's opinions, but they did handle this very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
But we get some werewolves, we get a vampire.
Quote unquote a vampire.
Yeah, and then we get a serial killer,
zombie,
an ex-child murderer, zombie, children, ghosts, and then the spirit, the demon spirit of Halloween himself.
Are you reading that off of something?
No.
Oh, okay. You're just listing stuff.
Yeah.
From your own shenoggin. Yeah. I liked it, honestly. And it's something you should, if you like Halloween at all, give it a look. Yeah. Where can they look at it, Noah?
If you would like to view this wonderful Halloween movie, which you should watch.
You're overselling it.
No, that you should definitely watch on Halloween. Well, wink,
no,
wink.
You should, but it's how you. If you would like to, and I'm like, you sound like a freaking automated system. Like, just say the thing.
Good.
Good.
Encouragement.
I hate automated systems.
If you'd like to view Trick or Treat, which you should do tonight, well, before you listen to this podcast, because this is on October 31st. You should be listening.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween. Stay safe out there.
Don't be dumb.
But if you'd like to watch this movie, you can view it on AMC for free with cable TV. You can view it on Amazon Prime with a premium subscription. You can also rent it from YouTube and Vudu for $2.99.
You can probably buy it off of YouTube or Vudu, too.
You can. And iTunes for $3.99.
Yeah, this is one to own. This is one to have on the shelf, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you're kind of like, but once you've seen it, it's good. And like I said, it's got Brian Cox, Dylan Baker, and Anna. I always have trouble saying her name.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Yeah, did you find her name?
Yeah, a lot of these Anna Paquin, and it's kind of hard because a lot of these good actors they have complicated names.
Yeah,
and I don't like trying to pronounce them.
That happens, bud. Well, a lot of... Obviously, the first time you view this movie is probably going to be the best time, but I would say a lot of rewatchability.
I'd say it's one of those things that really you do have to rewatch like maybe 3 times to really grasp everything.
Yeah, because the first viewing, you're kind of like... You get a bunch of surprises that you don't see coming, but then the second viewing, you realize, like, all of this other stuff, too. Like, oh, that had to... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this movie maybe is the title sequence. in the beginning.
Yeah, the title sequence is very creative. So they basically kind of gave what Creepshow kind of did with their
comic
intros,
books
throwing through a graphic novel. I'd say
Yeah.
more of a graphic novel vibe, going with illustrations of, but it wasn't even illustrations of anything else as like a prequel or anything. And this movie is not based off anything. This is purely its own thing. That's just the stylized twist that they decided to do for the title sequence. Excuse me, they gave scenes of the movies while doing this opening. So that was the really cool part.
In like graphic novel comic book drawing, which is really cool. And you said that a graphic novel came after, right?
Yes, because it didn't get a sequel. There was the graphic novel called Trick or Treat: Days of the Dead, which is a continuation, I believe, of the next Halloween. I want to say, I think it is the next Halloween.
Do we get any returning characters? I'm assuming Sam.
Well, Sam, obviously, because he is the
spirit
main focus, which got some good ratings. I mean, on Comixology, it's got 4.4 out of 5. I mean, Goodreads, it's got 3.9, but I go with more Comixology because those are more, I think. But it is an actual book, graphic novel book. It's got 146 pages. If you look it up right now, you can preview the book. You can preview the first 33 pages if you want to, guys, take a look at it. Description for it reads, it came out in 2015, but the description for it reads, from the twisted imagination of Trick or Treat creator Michael Daughtry, director of the upcoming Krampus and Trick or Treat 2 and screenwriter of X-Men 2 and Superman Returns, which, if you haven't seen Krampus, that's a good movie to watch as well. Along a top-notch team of creators, including writers Todd Casey and Zach Shields. And also Mark Andrico and artist Fiona something. They really don't give a whole lot. It's kind of really fun that they cut that off there.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm trying to find if I can get that comic off Amazon. I found a Funko of Sam.
I did see that. But yeah, this is a continuation. It is an official sequel. I know that the Trick or Treat, one of the problems has been that people have been wanting it for a while, but it has been one of those films that's taken a while. I think it's gone through a lot of hoops, and I think it's been going through a lot of story for like filming wise. But this did only have a budget of $12 million as well,
which is not that much. It might sound like a lot, but for a movie, Warner Brothers Lionsgate movie, not that much.
I mean, given what they did with it, though, that's kind of good.
Or did I say Lionsgate? I meant Legendary. Legendary made this movie, didn't it?
Does not say.
Yeah, it's a very good movie.
But, I think that's probably one of the best things about the movie is that it does not have a big budget. One of the things that really makes these stand out, I mean, just to kind of give you some reference of how people liked it, it's got... And I mean, a lot of these anthology movies you'd expect. It is 84% with 25 total counts from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, which is actually pretty good for such a small amount. And by user ratings, there's over 31,000. Looks like it's 31,516. They got 71%.
Yeah.
So to kind of give you some reference, a lot of people enjoyed it. And it is a very enjoyable movie. It's very well done. I think having a smaller budget probably is what also made this movie so good.
Exactly.
The concept short that was on here originally, before it was made, Season's Greetings, was only a 4-minute short, and it was the distributor was Warner Brothers.
Really?
So this was made under Warner Brothers, by the way, too. It was
distributed under 4-minute short.
It was a 4-minute short, and it did a lot. It was actually a good short, and it was fully animated too, like hand drawn.
Wow. I never saw it. I'm gonna have to. Is that just online on YouTube if they want?
No, I believe they have it on the Blu-ray disc that I have too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it is a good short, but it is online too. So if you guys want to look it up on YouTube, you can still do that. One of the other cool things that something that I really do admire about Trick or Treat is just how well, which I know I've said that before, but I really admire the pacing.
It's paced very well.
That it gave. The characters were definitely buildable. You felt it. And the best part is that each anthology series, because another thing too is it's not just a straight shot. each anthology, when you start it, you cut away.
Yeah. And it starts another one.
I mean, one of the things that always bothered me, something especially about Star Wars, taken for an example, one good example is like The Empire Strikes Back. On a good note, to say The Empire Strikes Back balanced out two separate stories perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
It is one of the best films that did the pacing absolutely perfect to tell two stories. That is what Trick or Treat does for horror films.
Right.
It is incredibly well done in terms of pacing. And each character makes an appearance
in the other shorts.
And they cut away. So maybe like for the first part you get like a look at the father and his son and their relationship, and then it'll cut to the one nerd girl who kind of is an outcast, who's basically an outcast, and then you'll cut to the bus incident, where a bunch of children died, and there's a broken bus that's been sitting there for what, 40 years?
Something like that, yeah.
40 years, and a bunch of kids died on it.
Which is weird because in the short they say that wasn't there when they were there earlier.
Yeah, and it could be. The Trick or Treat also plays with the idea of hallucination, so it's very Spirit of Halloween-ish. But what also really ties into this movie is the theme of it really embraces Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, something that, not to diss Halloween, but Halloween doesn't feel like Halloween after a while.
Halloween the movie
Halloween
doesn't
the movie
feel
does
like
not
Halloween the holiday.
Yeah,
I
it
get
does
what you're
not
saying.
feel like it takes place on Halloween after a while. Because
Yeah.
you're focused more on Michael. This really, Trick or Treat really brings you and reminds you that it is Halloween night, and that is the most powerful for spirits, to be out and about. And
So goes the holiday.
yeah, and it doesn't breathe it in your face either. It's not pushed into your face. It's not a constant pestering reminder that it's in Halloween, but it does remind you on each and every turn. Some of this too is it's got a bit of body horror, so that's something to watch out for if you're not
Gore.
a fan of
We get a pretty
horror.
extended scene of a kid puking up blood, like a lot of it, which that made me very wary of it all.
Yeah, and I know that's something too that everybody should be aware about because we got a thing with kids, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's definitely kind of got those it vibes in those scenes. Because there is one story in here that does focus on just the children.
Yeah.
But
And nothing is shown for that one, but it's very implicit.
it's implied with the screams. So if you can't do that either, if you're not a screaming person, then, you know, I don't want to downplay the movie and make people not want to see it, but at the same time, it is good to just have those
Be
warnings.
aware of what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's just something we want to do. Like one short here in the future that you guys will hear next month, I believe it is. We'll definitely put a warning over it. Nathaniel knows which one I'm talking about because he still hates me for it.
Oh, the movie that you made me watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not saying like the show's over after that episode. I am suggesting it. No, get it.
But
I don't hold grudges though. You bastard, die in hell.
one of the things to is if you listen to our Reanimator episode, you already kind of heard about it. It is a Brian Usna film, and Brian Usna is known for his extravagant, messed up, disturbing work.
God, we recorded that episode a long time ago. I can't even remember. That's an inside joke.
That's something you have to see the face to understand.
That's a behind the scenes thing. Only we find it funny.
Yeah. Don't be trying to like go into our brains and
No,
time or
no,
something.
don't be on the Reddits. God, I don't even think we have any Reddits about our show. Yeah. It'd be cool.
Surprisingly, I want to say too that while on the topic of Brian Usna, I'm surprised that he didn't do something like this.
Yeah, this seems like a very Usna. Well, you know what?
It's got its moments, but I'm surprised that he didn't do something like make his own. Not make actually Trick or Treat, but I'm surprised because he's done Society and Reanimator 1, 2, and 3, and Return of the Living Dead 3 from Beyond, The Dentist, which both Dentist movies are fucked up. And you know, Dolls, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
I mean, I can tell he didn't make this movie because I think there's only 2 shots of boobs in this whole movie. That's like the only nudity.
Yeah. Yeah. Were they even uncovered? There's one that was uncovered.
There was one where it was during the transformation scene in the woods, which we won't spoil. Well,
excuse me.
Yeah,
there's
one in the woods, and then there was one. The guy in the beginning, he's watching a porno tape. Which, what is this, 1998? Why do you got a VHS?
I'm just gonna go off on
There's
a weird
this thing called the internet, my guy.
Now I am gonna say a weird story.
Oh, here we go.
Because I do owe it to Family Video. By now it's already closed.
Oh, this story. You told me this earlier today.
Yeah. It's very sad. Family Video is actually where I saw a lot of these indie films and took a lot of consideration in looking up. It was something that I always used to go to when I lived out in Illinois. It was a fun place to always be for me. Employees were nice. Mm-hmm. I even worked with them for a little bit. Family Video is a great place. Rest in peace to the corporation. It's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was going during one of their liquidation sales, it got some pretty cool movies to add to the collection. There was this guy. So if you've ever been to a Family Video, you know there's an adult section in some of them. Not all of them. The one I worked at did not have an adult section. Funniest thing ever is everybody's casually looking around for a movie. Same with the kids. Everybody's minding their business. La 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 la.
Tra la la.
And all of a sudden, as you're about to purchase these fine movies, you see an older gentleman who is on the phone while talking to the sales clerk with a literal stack of about 20 adult films. Mm-hmm. Right in front of the children, too. He didn't even wait.
No. He's got stuff to do, as is evident by the things he's buying.
Yeah, and the funniest thing in the world was hearing this. As he's talking on the phone to whoever he was talking to, the funniest thing in the world was hearing him say to the person on the other line, what am I doing right now? I'm purchasing some movies.
Which is a very nice way to put it.
Yeah, and I was like...
least descriptive.
Yeah, and I'm like, purchasing some
Are
movies.
You now?
Okay. The second greatest part about that experience, and very awkward one at that, was the fact that the clerk kind of looked at me, and then when the children walked out with their mother, the guy kind of got a look at me, being like, what the fuck is this guy buying, and why is he buying so much?
Exactly.
And he just kind of looks at me and then gives me like this odd look and looks away and like covers his face.
Yeah. Oh, now you feel shame? No.
Yeah, like, it's not the children. It's just the black guy looking at me and judging me. That's like, oh yeah,
the employee who you have to deal with to purchase things.
Yeah, which is one of the things too, because our Family Video never had that. That was one of the hardest parts, and I asked the employees there, I'm like, so how does it feel like when you're expecting someone to come in and rent like a horror film, but they come in on like these seasons or something, or they just rent out a porno and they're like,
it's interesting.
Yeah, I want to pay like $7.99 for this.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just sitting there like, that must be so awkward.
Have they ever had anyone try to barter?
Yeah. I did hear a guy. There was one guy.
Kidding me?
There was one guy, and you know, it was funny because he got these horror films because they were having one of their 10 for 20 sales, $10 for 20 movies, and he comes in and he goes to the back because it's only on like movie sales.
Yeah.
But then they're having a small sales for pornos. If you can go back there, and you see the sign back there, and he gets up there, and he's trying to negotiate the price because he doesn't have enough.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can't go down on the 10 for 20 because we're already giving you sales. So he's like, well, can you go down on the porn DVDs?
Well, clearly the person on them is. I'm way too proud of that joke.
No, it's clever timing. But yeah, he's sitting there and he's like negotiating with the employee, and the employee's like, yeah, and the worst part is there is kids in line next to their mom, and they're all waiting, and the mother's just me and the mother are like exchanging glances, like,
this is happening.
Is he doing this like right here, right now, with all these people waiting?
This is reality.
And so after I get up there, after he leaves, I go up to the person. I'm like,
is everything okay?
Well, I ask him like, how is that? And he's like, yeah, it's always weird. And the funniest part though is when I talk to him, he's like, I was like, does he know the internet exists?
Yeah, exactly. Like, where are you getting VHS tapes?
But it's always older men, never women.
That's why then. Because the older men don't know how to work a laptop yet, or don't know about virus protection. So they go the analog route.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
But why would you barter for porn? Like, you're really making people question how much you really need this. Because you obviously do.
And if you don't have the money for it, just get the horror films.
Exactly.
I was more pissed off, too, because I'm like, he's sitting there and he grabbed all this porn, and then he grabbed all the horror movies I was looking at.
I like how you're more pissed about the circumstantial situation of it all.
Because I wanted those horror films.
Listen, you can barter for Slumber Party Orgy 5 all you want, but I want to watch Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
dick.
dude.
That's
stick to your porn.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough, then get the porn at least and leave me the horror films.
Get the porn at least and leave me the horror films. There's our t-shirt line.
But going back to Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
One cool thing about this movie too, that if you guys want to get on Blu-ray, there is I don't know if you guys know about Scream Factory, which is by Shout Factory. Scream Factory focuses more on the horror aspect. But there is a cool collector's edition of this out. Otherwise, you can find a regular Blu-ray on eBay. People sell them relatively cheap. You'll find them from time to time. But there is a cool collector's edition on Blu-ray, which has the flippable cover. Like, I got the Blob. It's got a collector's edition, and it has the original DVD cover with the woman inside the blob.
That's cool.
The pink cover, yeah, it's a reversible cover, so that's very cool. The collector's edition has a very cool image of Sam, the kids in the masks, Sam holding the lollipop, the werewolves, the pumpkins, the fiery pumpkins, and like the elevator and stuff like that. So it's very, very cool. It's definitely worth it.
Do you have? Let me ask you this. Since it is the season and we are talking about it, and at the time of it, it is that day. Can you give me the story of your, and you don't have to go into too much detail, but can you give me the story of your best Halloween and your worst Halloween?
You know, I think one of the most horrific Halloweens, I had two.
Okay.
Which I'm glad I did not watch this movie, otherwise that would traumatize me more.
Sure.
I hated animatronics when I was a kid.
Okay.
And to an extent still do, depending on what they are. There was a time I was walking up when I was 3 in a cute little bumblebee costume. Cute little no, walking in a bumblebee costume. Do. Going trick-or-treating. And all of a sudden, all these teenagers jumped out at me and went, Rah!
Awesome. How old were you?
3.
Oh, God.
And little Noah starts crying.
Who was with you?
My dad and my mom. And the mother comes out and is like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's a 3-year-old kid. They're like, well, we couldn't see him. And she's like, well, he looks pretty short unless he's a midget.
Yeah, exactly. Not an okay word to say, but yeah.
But yeah, she starts yelling stuff like that at him, and she's like, here you go, sweetheart, take some extra candy, and she gives me like a huge handful.
That's nice, though. That turned out to be a good memory.
Yeah, but that was still terrifying. The other thing is, we were walking down in our apartment, because we lived in an apartment at a time, and I had to be like 6 or 7, and they put this animatronic vampire. The worst part of this is the eyes glowed. It wasn't like one of those red glow. It was like they made the eyes, but they made them so thin that the light behind him would stare at you.
That's awesome.
And then he was sipping like a hot cup of blood or something.
That's cool.
And the steam shot out of the cup.
Like out of a mug?
Yeah, and his eyes would look down at you and he'd be like...
What kind of vampire was it?
I don't even remember.
Was he blonde?
I don't remember. I was terrified.
Because if he was blonde, that sounds like Spike from...
No.
Okay.
It was not.
Okay. Do you have a best Halloween? Or were they all fairly around the same? Like, man.
They were bad. I mean, I think the coolest thing was, I think that same Halloween, I dressed up as Rodney from Robots. And I got a little Fender bot, too.
Oh, that's
a little
cool.
Fender bot model. And it could close and everything. So that was actually pretty fun. Me and my dad helped me. We made a homemade costume, and it looked awesome. One day I'll have to post on the Instagram. I'll have to post like some of these memory photos. You guys can see my Joker cosplay when I was during my sophomore year that I did for our dress up for our school, and then I can also show you guys a picture of me when I was little and I wore a Mario costume. If you ever want to see what a black Mario and a fake mustache looks like on there. What about you?
Worst and best?
Yeah.
Worst was 2 years ago. I had planned a thing out with my then girlfriend at the time, and I'm not going to name names because even though, as you're about to hear, the situation was pretty bad, I don't want her to be harassed or anything. It's still a human being, no matter what happened. But we had planned out, we wanted to plan out to go to like, maybe go to like a maze or a corn maze or something like that, which in Minnesota, that's like all you can do. And like, I threw around the idea of like, they had this weird thing in Minneapolis where it was like yoga and wine drinking or something. And I thought that would be cool to go.
Interesting.
But she wanted to go to a club on Halloween night in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And I knew that was a bad idea because she is about, to give you an idea height-wise, she's about 4'10", like a little over 100 pounds. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to get kidnapped. And she didn't like I said that was the reason, but she thought I was just overreacting. But as you,
no,
that's
Halloween,
on Halloween,
nights.
That's a reality.
There are people that are bigger that get kidnapped and drugged.
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to watch you 24/7. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to do anything.
Usually, police are on patrol for little kids at that time, so they don't really respond to all those parties right away unless they're out of control.
Exactly. Even if it's at a club like in Minneapolis, like I don't trust that.
Takes them a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I was very adamant against doing such a thing, and also I couldn't enter the club anyway because my ID wasn't valid, so it wouldn't allow me to enter anyway. And that was the main other reason, but I didn't want to say that because it's an embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
So technically on Halloween, with having not talked to me for 2 days before that, she texts me a long at 3 a.m. breakup text,
which is
really shitty. Really shitty.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I know I'm better for it because that is a big sign of like even if things did keep going and like maybe we were even still in a relationship like 2 years later, like that's not a relationship that's gonna end well. Like clearly,
no, and it's like, very unfortunate.
I'm glad like less of our time was wasted. And hopefully we can both find someone better. But that was rough. That was a rough day. But then my best was maybe last year's. Because my brother and his... Because I had planned out a party. Because I was like, I'm going to get all this, like, Jell-O mold stuff. And, like, make a brain... Like, they had Jell-O molds of brains. And Jell-O molds of skulls. Which I still have, but I never got to use them. And then they had, like, ice cube tray things of, like, jack-o'-lanterns and skulls and teeth. And, like, I had, like, all this cool stuff. And, like, I was like, I'm going to do all this stuff. And we'll have treats and we'll watch movies. It'll be, like, a fun little party thing. But no one wanted to come. Like, I asked all my coworkers. I asked my friends. They all had other stuff doing, whether it be, like, working or taking their siblings trick-or-treating or straight up just saying, no, that sounds dumb. So,
I mean, a little too upfront, but
yeah, a little much. But so I was kind of down and out, but my brother like showed up and he was like, because I was still wearing my costume, because I was like, well, if I'm handing out candy, I might as well like wear a costume. So my brother showed up and he goes, "Hey, let's go." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm doing a hangout with my church. You should come." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go there and it's a really fun time because I'm like I've never met any of these people, so there's no like, or majority of these people I haven't met, so there's no like. There's no pressure to remember names or anything. I'm just like, hi, like, and I just had a really good time with these people who at the time I had never met, but a few months later I would start going to that church, and now those people are like my closest friends. So,
which is always nice.
yeah, and I did like, and it's also like a culturally different thing because it's a Hmong church that I go to. So at this party, besides my brother, I'm like the only white guy. So I was like thinking like, oh, how is this gonna go? But they were all really great people. They didn't like care, you know.
Yeah, that's always the thing in the room.
Yeah, exactly. The white elephant in the room in this case.
Yeah.
That is both a racial and a fat joke. So yeah, those are my Halloweens.
Well, that's always good.
There was one where like I dressed up as Noah when I was like 10, like Noah as in Noah and the Ark. And
which I have a more
where, yeah, you're Noah. I dressed up as you.
Well, I like to say that technically. Well, I mean, Noah's technically dark.
Yeah,
so...
yeah. Well, I dressed up as him, like, and I had a fake beard, and like, I was wearing like, my mom I think bought like an animal rug and cut it so it was like I was wearing a coat, and I had like a huge stick, but I wasn't wearing enough. And I think I got pneumonia.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time, but that's some crap I remember.
Well, on another note, too, speaking of Halloween, one of the main things in this movie that is really awesome is the the holidays ancient traditions in which Sam highly enforces. These are all things that he punishes those who do not follow.
Yeah, don't blow out the jack-o'-lanterns.
Well, it's 1, wear a costume. 2, hand out treats. 3, never blow out a jack-o'-lantern. And 4, always check your candy, no matter what.
By check your candy, you mean expiration.
Well, just check it in general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because there could be razor blades in it.
Yeah, that's always something that...
I used to think, like, to a certain extent, that is kind of an old wives' tale, but it does happen, which is so effed.
Oh, yeah, there was a story when I was a little kid about somebody who carved apples and was able to plug them back up and would put little bits of razor blades in them.
Why? What is the purpose? Like,
they were mad at trick-or-treaters because they didn't like it how they always knocked on his door even when his light was off.
I'm just making sure it's plugged in, right? The mic? I'm just making sure. Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, it's...
Or, like, I've heard of stories of, like, there was a guy who got arrested because he was throwing hot dogs filled with razor blades in a dog park.
Yeah, see, I don't get people who do that.
No.
Which is another important...
Like, I understand you're mad, but, like...
Yeah, it's not right. Which is another thing that comes out of this movie, too. Sam punishes those who do stuff like that.
Yeah, like the guy at the end who scares the kids instead of giving them candy.
Yeah, and he gets punished. One of the things, too, is like this... Is it the first woman who does destroy... She's the one who destroys...
She blows out a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, because she's pissed off about it.
And she wants to put away the decorations, which... I would like to point out that yard is the most decorated I've ever seen a yard in Halloween. Like, we're talking, they had to have nailed 2x4s together to make it look like ghosts, and there's lights and stuff. And...
You obviously haven't seen the neighborhoods I've seen.
Yeah, I guess I haven't. Huh.
Because I've seen people who have done way more than that.
But it's just like, that's the thing though, it's elaborate and it's a lot, but she's like, I hate Halloween, I'm gonna put all this crap away tonight. And it's like, you're the one who was... If you didn't put it out yourself, you were okay with it. Like, what the heck is your problem?
Yeah. And I mean, that was undoubtedly one of the coolest kind of things, is that the whole reason Sam is a villain is he's not really a villain at all.
No.
He's trying to keep the tradition alive, because that's one of the things, like...
Because if the tradition dies, so does he, I'd assume.
Yeah, and one of the things, like, it's even said with... what's his name? Let me think. Not Brian Cox's character.
The principal?
Dylan Baker's character,
yeah.
the dad. He constantly is telling his son how important it is to follow the traditions of Halloween.
Yeah.
Because it's something that, and even the trick-or-treaters, because it's something that keeps it alive, and it's also respectful to the dead and the spirits
Exactly.
among it.
People believed that it was the time that the realms of the living and the dead were the closest together during autumn. Which I don't believe in that, but it's a nice thought.
I like to say that you shouldn't test anything. They'll test your limits. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do. You're gonna.
Oh yeah, one because we have a YouTube channel, and we'll probably start doing face stuff rather soon. Yeah. One thing you will never see one video you will never see on our channel will be titled Noah and Nate use Ouija board. No, never. No.
And not to be insulting, but please don't ask us to do stuff like that because I'm sure that sometime down the line there will be a fair amount of people who
request that
and the answer is no because for a lot of reasons it's just something that it's not a game.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't see that as a game. I don't find it fun. I don't find it funny. So please don't ask us to do stuff like that as we're just going to decline.
Yeah. And there's the argument of people but it's creepy. Yeah, it's too creepy. There's a line.
There's other fun things that we can do for Halloween without messing with things that
we can do a watch party. We can have a reaction to something,
which is something that we're not doing this year. But if you guys want us to do it next year or whenever you're hearing this, if we haven't already done it yet,
we can play. What's that freaking jelly bean game?
Yeah. And I mean, one of the cool things too is we have a Facebook group that we'll be able to do for you guys, and that is something that I want you guys to consider too, because you can have watch parties now, or even on Discord, because we'll probably make a Discord eventually.
For sure.
That's something cool that you guys can be interactive with as well, and we can all watch something they got Return of the Living Dead on there.
Or maybe in the future we'll have a Twitch and we can play some games, some based on movie games or horror games, something.
Yeah, so it's always going to be something fun, but...
there are more stuff we're willing to do than not.
Yeah, so let's try and keep that to a minimum so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't ask us to do stuff we're very uncomfortable and adamant against doing.
Yeah, but we'll do all the movies you want.
Yeah, but we're never walking in a haunted house.
Yeah, I'll do a haunted house.
No, I'm saying haunted house. I'll go through a house where people in costumes are jumping out and scaring me. I'm not going into a place where there's known to be spirits and trying to talk to them.
Oh,
no.
No. Which, another cool thing about this that Sam kind of enforces is messing with that stuff, which is something that we see with the kids in these movies.
Yeah.
The way that they're daring to go, what is it? They bring...
They're gonna bring jack-o'-lanterns because I guess there was a massacre on Halloween, via a bus. And they're gonna bring some jack-o'-lanterns as an offering to the kids who died.
Yeah, which I think... Is that Danielle?
I think.
See, I really hate how these...
There's not that many unique names. A lot of characters, I swear, don't even have names. They're not even really mentioned that much.
Yeah, and that's not a hindrance on the movie. It's just when you're trying to remember, and no, that was not her. It gets annoying because you're trying to remember because there is a lot. And it might have been Rhonda. I'm trying to find...
Well, and especially now because, those kid actors are probably now
adults, and
adults.
They don't show them.
They're new photos.
And it is Rhonda. Rhonda is played by Sam Todd.
Okay, and we're sure she's not one of the girls in the...
I looked her picture up. Yeah,
okay,
she's the witch girl in the witch costume.
Yeah.
She's only done Trick or Treat.
Really?
For movies.
Huh.
That's what she's known for. She still looks relatively the same. She looks very pretty now, too.
Yeah. I like the kind of her and the cool kid or whatever, because he seems genuinely nice to her.
Yeah, which I believe is...
He's known. I have seen him around a few times.
I'm trying to look up his name because I just saw him and then it disappeared off.
It's not Chip.
No, it's not Chip. It's... Where'd he go? I think it was it the Vampire Kid or was it?
No. Vampire Kid was on the bus.
Okay.
I'll know his face when I see it.
Yeah, because these are all really weird.
Yeah, because that's the one guy's son.
Yeah, but basically, Rhonda goes out with a bunch of her friends, and, as we explained earlier, she's very passionate about Halloween.
They call her like Rhonda the weirdo or something. So I got a feeling like they're not exactly her friends.
No, but
maybe they're just in the same class.
Yeah, and Danielle Macy tries to bait her out. Mm-hmm. By saying, "Oh, let's go do what you want to do," and to which she takes them to where the bus has fallen in this creek.
Yeah. Or it's like sunk to the bottom of this lake. Quarry, yeah.
Yeah, like quarry that has kind of drained out.
Mm-hmm.
And dried up. And they have this weird, uncomforting elevator because they have some power modules or something.
I would not trust that thing. No. Also, how the heck does she have a key to it?
Yeah. And that's the other shitty thing. But they basically make fun of her. When they get down there, they play a bunch of mean tricks, acting like they're getting attacked.
Yeah, which not cool to make people think you're dying for a joke.
Yeah. And to vandalize what she brought there as an offering to honor those children.
Who are
later
they died.
You find out in the movie too that they were murdered.
Yeah.
By their parents.
Yeah, their parents were like gonna be a thing of like, oh, have them found dead, and it's like
because I believe they were disabilities.
Kids with disabilities. So like the Vampire Kid definitely had ADHD.
And to give you an idea, this is a rich community.
Yeah, and they're like, it's the kid. They go to a school far away because their parents want to keep them a secret, and it's like, that's your kid, like.
Yeah, and
don't have kids then. Like
it turns out at the end too, the reason that Brian Cox's character is the one who does not want to answer the door on Halloween because he's the one.
It's revealed he was the bus driver.
Yeah, who killed the kids, and he feels very guilty for it.
Yeah, but as he should.
Yes, but Sam also is like, you still murdered kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And even
kids on Halloween, no less.
Even though in the end. He tries to redeem himself. Mm-hmm. It's not enough, and Sam ends up killing him. I mean, just at the beginning,
Sam doesn't kill him. The kids show up and kill him.
Well, Sam summoned him basically.
Yeah.
But and the kids killed the other kids that were bothering
that were pranking
Rhonda.
The girl,
and to which she leaves them down there because she's like,
"Fuck you."
Yeah, fuck you for what you did. You insult Halloween and then you play mean tricks on me, and she's like, no.
Although I would argue she should have let the one guy in because he seemed genuinely
her friend. Yeah, she left.
He felt bad for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of him, but he was one of the kids that she kind of like seemed like they had a crush on each other.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he was saying her jack-o'-lantern was cute, and she was like blushing, and he said he liked her costume. Like he just seemed like a good
kid
guy.
flirty stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that part was really sad. But I mean, also kind of looking. This is a brutal movie too. Don't get us wrong.
Guts and blood, decapitated heads.
So that's another warning if you can't handle that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just in the beginning, we got like one woman who meets Sam, and she's the one who, like we were talking about earlier, who's blowing out pumpkins and stomping on them and stuff.
Yeah, that fat kid. Yeah.
No, not the kid, the woman.
She doesn't stomp out pumpkins. She's just blowing them out. The fat kid was like knocking them off of fence posts.
That's true. Yeah, the woman ends up getting Sam's giant lollipop, which is not
stuck in her mouth.
Innuendo at all. But yeah, he's got this.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that.
He's got a bizarre pumpkin lollipop.
It looks like there was a bite taken out of it.
Yeah, but it's meant to be that way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he shoves the whole thing in her mouth.
And did he like dismember her? Is it clear? Because like,
no, she wasn't dismembered. She was just left on the grave, but it split her jaw and probably like.
Well, she wasn't on a grave. She was on the post.
I thought it was one of the decorational graves.
Yeah, it was a decorational like cross looking thing. But you see like other limbs hanging from trees, and there's like blood dripping down from them. So I figured he like cut her up.
Yeah, and that could be it, but
Yeah, that was at least what I took. I don't know about you, clearly, but let me know when we're rolling.
But yeah, we are rolling.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you'll edit. But so yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, this is a brutal movie. You know, we also get the girl who's Rogue from the X-Men movies, and it seems like what you're meant to think is that she's gonna lose her virginity,
Which is not at all what they mean.
Yeah, no, we won't spoil, because that is definitely... we understand that this is like the spoiler part, but this is a part we want you to see, for sure. Like, even look it up to see the reveal, but watch the movie preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, it's all very unclear, and then you're like, oh, and then when you watch it the second time, you're like, yeah, okay, well, this all makes sense now.
Yeah, and... You know, like I said, I know we didn't talk too much about the movie in this episode, but
No.
it is one of those that you really have to...
It's hard to follow. It's hard. It would be hard for us to track and like say exactly beat for beat what happens, because all the stories intersect and they happen almost simultaneously, and it's
we wanted to kind of give you guys just a fun bonus episode.
For Halloween.
So maybe we'll go a little bit more in depth if we do like a movies explained type of thing.
If you guys want us to do this again or something, I don't know.
Yeah, we'd be willing to do it.
I mean, I liked just this episode, us talking about our Halloween stories and stuff.
Yeah, and this does fit into the Halloween spirit of Halloween, because something I always like to do every year too is just to celebrate or watch some horror films.
Yeah.
Which the main trope of this film is there's always some way for you to celebrate Halloween. You don't need to be exempt from it. I mean, even if you're just staying indoors, and I know some people are very sheltered as to thinking it's sacrilegious and other stuff, but there's always ways to celebrate the holiday without making it about demons.
And of course, this year being 2020, there's a lot of like, you know, you should be very wary about what you're doing.
Yeah, and like we said before, there's a lot of things that you can do on Halloween to celebrate it without being demons.
You can trick or treat. You can. I'm not endorsing this, but theoretically, hypothetically, you can pull pranks. I'm not saying you should.
No.
Not saying you shouldn't, but
if you want to do it on your siblings, that'd be better.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, you know,
don't
not good for your siblings.
Don't do anything that could have any legal repercussions.
Yes.
Like, don't throw a bowling ball through your neighbor's house. Don't do that.
Doing the TP stuff. Like,
yeah.
Let's be mature.
Exactly.
One thing, I think we could take a minute to recommend a couple of movies for you guys. If you
yes, please. If you want to do a marathon today.
If you guys would like some good movies to watch, there's Poltergeist, The Exorcist. I'd recommend Get Out, which is kind of a thriller.
Literally every episode we've reviewed this month.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the main ones on the list that I'd say, to give you guys 3 classic movies that you guys should watch, I'd say do Poltergeist, The Exorcist, and The Evil Dead. Trigger warning for The Evil Dead if you've listened to our previous episode.
Can I throw, or you go ahead, I'm sorry.
And then I would say my top 3 picks for modern horror would be
Get Out.
Say The Lodge, Hereditary, and I think probably Get Out. Get Out. Yeah. So yeah, those 3 movies: Poltergeist, The Exorcist, Evil Dead, and then same as the Evil Dead with Hereditary and the Lodge. Not as intense, but some intense scenes.
And if you're sensitive to horror, but you still want to have like a maybe spooky night, some horror movies that are still horror, but I'd say a little safer, especially by today's standards. Maybe watch the original black and white Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
that would be good. Dracula, Frankenstein, any of the Universal monster stuff,
and possibly The Thing too.
The Thing
and The Blobber kind of.
Well, I'm going more tame for the people who don't like to get that scared. To an extent, the 90, I think it's 94, something like that. The first Scream movie.
99. 93. Sorry.
It's got some heightened parts and some F-bombs, but that's Ghostface to me is the least scary of the iconic horror movie villains, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Friday the 13th is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Scream is it's actually around our area for showtimes in theaters.
Oh.
Which is cool. Yeah, 1996 is when the first Scream movie came out. So if you guys want to watch that,
if you like a good mystery, if you haven't seen it before, I'd recommend at least seeing it once and see if you can guess who the killer is. Because I guarantee you won't.
I will say this. As 5 picks, I think on all of our parts, Scream, Halloween,
Frankenstein,
Poltergeist, The Exorcist, and The Exorcist and what was the other one that I said? The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
5 modern horror, Hereditary, The Lodge,
Get Out,
The Witch, and The Lighthouse. Those are 5 that you could pick one.
Midsommar could maybe go in there as well.
Midsummer is more. Yeah. It's not really horror. It's cultish and bloody.
Ooh, I just thought of a great category we can list off some recommendations for. If you like horror and you like musicals,
Rocky Picture Horror Show. Is that what
Rocky Horror Picture Show is good. I'd say Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp as the serial killer barber. That's a really good one. It's a lot of fake blood. It's a lot of fun. Repo, the Genetic Opera. That's a really good one.
Which is made by the same people who made the first Saw movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have, and I have it, but I've not seen it yet.
Pretty much any of the Phantom of the Operas would be good. The 2004 one is still scary, but it's not like... It leans more toward musical than horror, which is good.
And
I like that.
Say one more thing that you guys could try. I have not seen it yet. I don't know if you have. But one last Wes Craven movie for a horror mystery, kind of a mystery suspense movie, but it would be The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, People Under the Stairs is very underrated and not... Yeah, for sure. That one's good.
1991 movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that it's not as super scary as one would think because of the premise in which it deals with.
It's got the kid from the Mighty Ducks in it.
Does it?
Yeah, it's got God, what was his name? He was in Mighty Ducks 1 and 2.
Sean Whalen?
I think so. He's he's African American.
Oh, you mean Brandy Adams or Brandon Adams?
Yeah, I think that's him.
Oh,
yeah.
Ving Rhames plays a character named Leroy in there too. Huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take that out. He's in the Mighty Ducks. Brandon's been in the Mighty Ducks 1 and 2 and The Sandlot.
Yeah. If you wanna have a laugh at some horror movies, pretty much anything made by Asylum on Sci-Fi.
I wouldn't call it a horror though, because it is the Asylum.
Well, certain ones I would say, like, was it High School of the Dead or Dead High or something like that? There's one where it's like a haunted high school. And that one always cracks me up, but it's still a horror. And there's some creative stuff in that. Like, there's a kid gets crushed by bleachers in that one.
It's everybody's worst fear if you've ever been to.
Somebody gets their neck, like, put in a trombone, and then their neck broken. One person gets, like... A ghost, like, wraps their hands around, like, the wiring of lifting equipment in a gym, and, like, gets his limbs ripped off. Like, there's some pretty decent kills in that one. One dude gets set on fire in a ventilation shaft.
Yeah, that's why I don't like ventilation stuff.
No.
Plus Alien Isolation.
Yeah, that game, no.
Yeah, that's worse than Resident Evil 7, honestly.
Yeah. Well, because the xenomorph moves so fast, and there's only so many ways to, like...
Avoid it.
Yeah, like, either...
And give it away from you.
Either don't move at all, or make sure your flamethrower is in decent supply.
Which is more scarce than ammo in Resident Evil 7, even on Nightmare mode.
If you want to play some horror games tonight, Resident Evil
7
for sure.
Alien Isolation.
The
Evil Within.
Outlast. Those 2 games are good.
Outlast, and I'd lastly say, not Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear is one to try. Sunder the Arrival is definitely worth the play. That is not something you want to play in the dark.
Yeah. Perception. Do you know that one?
Nope.
Oh, it's so good. You play a blind woman, and the house is haunted, but you're blind, so you gotta, like, you have to make noise to like see like Daredevil sight. It's a really interesting concept. Really cool game.
Is that computer or console?
I got it on my Switch, so I think it's on some consoles, but I PC as well probably. What's some other good horror ones?
But I mean, other than that, the only thing I could think of is like Until Dawn and Man of Medan.
Oh yeah, those series. Yeah, we need more horror games.
Yeah, which
I feel like
we'll do more. Otherwise, I'd say the other one that you could look
Left
at
4 Dead
too
can get pretty
is-
creepy.
I'd say the other one to do is Among the Sleep too, where you're playing as an infant. That's a bit horrifying too. But
Left 4 Dead 2 can get scary at times, but you also like. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Dead Space, the Dead Space trilogy. You know that one? You alright there?
yeah, Dead Space. Dead Space holds up too pretty well.
Yeah, because it balances it perfectly. Because like even though you have a pretty decent arsenal of guns, I'm still
And
afraid.
it's sci-fi horror.
Yeah, I'm still afraid when I play that game because those monsters are terrifying.
Yeah, they're fast and they're very
And
bitch-like.
there's segments where there's zero gravity and you can barely move. It's a really brilliant game. I really enjoy it. Good series.
Those are some good games and some good movies to check out if you guys want to do those. Otherwise, yeah, in the future, let us know if you want us to do an in-depth review of Trick or Treat.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
And
It's definitely going to be an affair where we're
play some Call of Duty Zombies, man.
Call of Duty Zombies. Horror series, Stranger Things, maybe.
I guess you could go with it. I'd say try and go as Creepshow as well.
Scream, the Scream TV show. I enjoyed that more than most people.
I haven't watched enough of it to recommend it.
Okay. If you really want to go hard edge for horror for TV shows, American Horror Story. Probably.
Definitely American Horror Story. You can pick from any of those seasons. They don't really.
Yeah, each season follows a theme.
It's not really with its own thing.
Yeah, just pick one.
Yeah, with the cast is their own. Same cast, different characters that they engage in. So.
Scream Queens is a funny time.
Yep, with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee. Yeah, she's the best.
So. Otherwise, guys, that is pretty much all the time we have for this episode. Have some fun. One last game I wanted to put out there too, if you want something good, is Soma and Narcosis.
Whoa, okay.
Which Narcosis is an underwater horror game that looks absolutely terrifying. Also, one more game to try on your other time is The Forest.
Yeah. If you
with cannibal mode, because that actually gets
the Blair Witch video game, that one's scary.
I don't know if that's out yet though.
It is.
Is it finally out on consoles?
Oh, not on consoles. I know PC for sure.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna
then
be getting there too.
comics. I just want to throw as many mediums as we can real quick. Lock and Key. That's a great horror comic series to read.
Which is a series on Netflix, less horror based though.
Yeah, that one's more PG because after 10 years, the author, who's Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King, who's also a great horror writer, he wanted to change it up and like try something different, which I can understand as an author. After doing a 10-story 10 years later, you kind of want to change things up. Pretty much read anything by Stephen King, almost. What's the Stephen King book you just started reading? Was it Buick 80?
From a Buick 8.
Yeah. How are you liking that?
It's pretty good. It doubles up with Christine. It's a paranormal car.
Yeah, people call it Christine's husband. Could you see that?
Yeah, basically. If you guys want another car horror, I mean, I'm sure that you've heard of The Car by now, which we've done on this channel.
Yeah.
Or this podcast as well.
Yeah.
Channel podcast, wherever you're listening to it.
read some H.P. Lovecraft or some Edgar Allan Poe.
I'd say Color Out of Space. You can watch that Nicolas Cage movie as well. Nicolas Cage, he actually does a good job.
Call of Cthulhu will mess you up. That one will make you paranoid as hell. What's that clown-related book you just started reading? Clowns in the Cornfield?
Also, yeah. Adam Caesar has just got his first official big publication release called Clowns in the Cornfield. Very interesting book. It is a great modern day slasher. It really redefines modern day slasher.
That's
it's
great.
not
Good for him.
like anything. He's a very talented author. He's done some other short stories that haven't been really in the public eye. So
Good for him on getting a book published, because that shit's hard.
so, well, with a big publisher especially.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Definitely take a look at that if you guys want to do that. That's usually at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. I believe you can find it.
maybe half-price books, maybe.
Not likely.
No?
Not likely.
They have newer ones sometimes, but...
They didn't get that one, though.
Okay.
I asked them at one point, too.
Oh, alright. And then, God, what was, Can you do a quick Google search for me? Because Rhett and Link, the YouTubers, they wrote a horror novel, which I really loved.
Who did?
Rhett and Link, the YouTubers? Good Mythical Morning?
Oh, them.
Yeah. It's called, like... Shallow Water? Dark Water?
Bleak Creek.
Bleak Creek, thank you. Yes, that was an amazing horror novel. I'd give that high praise for sure. Yeah. So,
Stranger Things meets the South is basically what it says.
Yeah, that is a perfect description for it, actually. All right, but I think we've babbled on as much as we can.
Yeah, take a look at Trick or Treat, and hopefully this month was filled with enough good episodes for you guys to...
Yeah, we killed ourselves cranking these out, so I hope you enjoy it.
We do it out of the love of our hearts, too, because movies are great, gems are great, and always remember, never judge a movie by its description or a book by its cover.
You said doo-doo. Okay, yeah, so...
Yeah, good.
that feels like the strongest point we could end on.
In that case...
Have a good Halloween, everybody.
Stay safe, stay warm, and watch some movies.
Watch some movies, love the people around you.
And we will bring you episodes next month.
Yeah, this has been Noah Sweeta.
And this has been Nathaniel Shootmaker. And this has been Film Nerds
Nerds
Hour.
Hour.
So long, guys.
Well, goodbye, guys. See you in November.